In this example, we're factoring 2x squared plus 9x minus 5, and we're going to use what's called the decomposition method. So it's a little different than the other method that we used in an earlier example, but in some ways I find it much easier. So let's take a look. So what do we do? Well, when we're working with a trinomial, and sometimes we call them quadratics, the number in front of the x squared is a, the number in front of the x is b, and the number at the end, the constant, is your c value. So in order to name these, we want to use this methodology. And what we want to do is find two numbers that multiply together to give us AC. So we look at your A and your C, which is 2 and minus 5. We multiply them together and we'll get minus 10. And then we want to find two numbers and multiply to give you that minus 10, but at the same time add together to give you the plus 9 that was in your middle term, your b value. So to do that, we want to find the factors of minus 10. So there's not too many. We just go through and write down the factors, and we list the factors of minus 10. And the factors would be 1 and minus 10, but we could also have minus 1 and 10. We have 2 minus 5, and we have minus 2 and 5. So those are the only ways that you can multiply two numbers together and get minus 10. Two integers together to get minus 10. So now we say which of those combinations of numbers adds together to give you 9. So the first one will give you minus 9. The next one gives you plus 9. Third one gives you minus 3, and then plus 3. So the one that we want is the one that gives us the plus 9. So we want to rewrite the original 2x squared plus 9x minus 5 using minus 1 and plus 10 for the 9. So we want to break up the 9 into a minus 1 and a 10. That's why it's called decomposition, because we're breaking up that middle term. So it was a plus 9x, now it's minus 1x, and it's plus 10x. Now if you wrote it the other way, plus 10x minus 1x, you would still get the right answer. So it doesn't matter what order you write it down at that point. So next you see we have 4 terms now. We want to look at the first 2 terms and factor what we can out of those first 2 terms. So the first 2 terms are 2x squared and minus 1x. So there's an x that's common to both of those terms. We look at the second 2 terms and you can see that there's a 5 common to both of those. So we pull out the 5. And you can see when we pull out that x and we pull out the 5, we get 2x minus 1 for both of those factors. Now that's going to happen for every time you do this. If it doesn't happen, that you get the same factors, then you've made an error somewhere. So now that we have the 2x minus 1 that's occurring in the front group and the back group, we can factor out that 2x minus 1, and we're left with x plus 5. So again, the 2x minus 1 comes out. We're left with the x from the first and the 5 from the second one. And this is our factor. Now we can check that by multiplying it back out, and we would get that same answer. So let me just go through and do this. So we have 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 5 is plus 10x. And then we have minus 1 times x is minus 1x. So you don't have to have that minus 1 in front. You could just have minus x. But it helps for when we join together these two to give us 2x squared plus 9x minus 5. And that's what we started with at the beginning of this question.